Hey guys, my name is Jessica and I am the owner and operator of Roundtown Candle Co. And today I'm going to bring you a video showing how you can, for really inexpensive, just a few little items, you can up your candle game. So I hope that you will watch through with this video. If you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, it would be amazing if you would do that and give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section. So let's jump right into it. All right, there is no shortage of candle makers, other candles, all that. So I think it's really important as small businesses that we realize that just because we're a small business, just because you have a small handmade candle business, does not mean that you can't look like a professional. So, when it comes to pouring these candles, we are not in a giant warehouse. We do not have an assembly line. This is all done by hand. And I really love that sort of, I guess that kind of, if you want to call it like an amateur type style, where it looks handmade. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate small differences in handmade items. So, I mean, we're not going to get 100% absolute perfection here, but we certainly do want to try to make our candles look fantastic, and we want to wow people. We want to wow our customers into purchasing our candles. So what I'm going to show you today is so simple. I have wax that's ready to be poured. I am pouring into my charcoal color ceramic Nordic 3-wick jars that I get from Candle Science. I love these. And this is all you need to up your candle game. So I have a scale, and I have a silicone mat that I put on that scale just because it's easier to clean the wax off of that. And then I just have a tiny pitcher. You could use a big pitcher. It doesn't matter. I just have a pouring pitcher, and I set my pitcher on my scale, and then I'm going to turn it on. And I want the pitcher on there because I want it to be zeroed out. So you want to make sure everything's reading all zeros. And then I know that these jars hold 10 ounces of wax. So out of my big pitcher, I am going to pour 10 ounces of wax into my smaller pitcher. Now, I do realize that this, is taking just a bit of time because, so now I've got 10.1. So I'm just going to pour just a tiny bit back. 10 on the dot. I realize that this takes a little bit more time than just a constant pour, but trust me, you guys, this is so worth it. So now I'm just going to pour this into my jar, and then I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. I'm going to go back and I'm going to pour another 10 ounces into this pitcher and pour it into the next jar. And this is a really easy way. So when I started it, and you may have to tear it out because there may be like 0.1 sometimes if there's just a little drop in there or whatever. So I tear it out each time. But I had started out with actually putting my jars on the scale, and I very quickly learned that that was just not going to work for me. I use these gloves. They get like wax and fragrance on them. And then just picking up your jar and moving it and trying to be steady about it and setting it down and not disrupting the wick holder and all that. I was like, this is never going to work. This is going to be a mess. So I just decided that I was going to do a smaller pitcher, weigh the wax in that pitcher, and then just pour directly like that. And so that's what I'm doing. So this is so easy. So easy, you guys. I know that if you were a candle maker, you have a pitcher, you have a scale, you're ready for this. There's nothing to it. So yes, again, it does take a little bit of time, but you can get kind of quick at it. So I'm just going to keep rolling along with these, and we'll get these done. But, you know, I think really it comes down to when you've got like I said, when you've got a small business and you have all this competition around you, you know, what can you do to step up your game? What can you do to make your candles stand out from the rest? You know, that when somebody purchases your candle, you know, and I do on my candles, I do buy two, get one free. I've offered that since day one and I will forever. I think it's fantastic because sometimes well, a lot of times people will buy three at least, you know, because they want to take advantage of that deal. So if somebody is buying three of these candles, and they're all wildly different. Maybe not wildly, but you know, you put them side by side and take the lids off, and they're all clearly different as far as the fill goes. I mean, you know, I feel like those people probably will understand, well, yeah, these are hand poured, but if you give them three candles that they have the lids off side by side and they're perfect, I mean, that says a lot. So, again, just it's the little things sometimes, just those little touches that really help make your product look nice. And not to mention that, you know, the label, you have to put your weight, the net weight on the label in ounces and grams. That's a requirement. And so if you have 10 ounces on your label, but you poured 11 ounces in your candle, then that's really not accurate information. So it's also important for that purpose that you try to maintain the level as accurate as you can get. Now, you know, still doing it this way, I mean, there may be a very slight variation because I'm not a machine and this is not going to be always 100% exact. So, you know, it's not like to say that it's got to be dead on all the time, but if you can get as close as you can get, that really is going to make a difference and make your candle stand out. All right. So, because of the size of these, I can do 6 out of a pitcher. So I've got another pitcher over there that's ready to go. So I will finish that up. And let's see where we are. These are so gorgeous. I love this because these are really hard to eyeball. I mean, some candles will give you like the posh jars that I just poured. It's so easy to see where to stop with your wax. There's the end of the decoration, like the little triangle, whatever's. If you have those jars, you know what I'm talking about. But there's like a clear stopping point inside the jar at the top. And so I just pour right to that line and stop. So those are so easy. But on these jars, you have zero indication. And it is so dang hard. I have tried before when I first started to do these to just like eyeball it. It is not recommended. I did not do great. So they were close, but you know, I mean, these are all 10 ounces that I just poured. And they will look so good. So anyhow, I just think it's really important to go through and find different little ways that you can take the extra time, take the extra step, and really make your product stand out, make it look professional. And when people see that, I honestly think that they're going to, of all, be willing to pay more for your product. Because if your product is the real deal, then, you know, you're fine to charge more for that. I mean, do not like, please. The thing that drives me crazy is when I see beautiful candles and they're selling for dirt cheap. Don't do that to yourself. Make sure you price what you're worth. So I feel like people will be willing to definitely pay more for a candle that looks better. And also think about that. You don't want to give a gift that looks janky. And so if your product looks amazing, people will give them as gifts. And people will come back as returning customers. I told you guys about in one of my previous videos, my mom got a candle gifted to her. And oh my goodness, it was a hot mess for real. But it had no warning label on it. It had no label at all. But where the warning label should have been, you could see obviously then the wick, and it was literally not even a half inch from the side of the candle. I mean, I told my mom, I was like, look, don't burn this thing because you will burn your house down. This is awful. So things like that, you know, if you hand a candle off that looks like that, chances are good you're not going to have a repeat customer. So take the time, make sure your wicks are centered, make sure that your labels are correct, make sure your wax is you know, evenly poured. All those things will definitely matter. And I'm just sitting here blabbing away, and there was like 11 ounces. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Oh gosh. Now I probably took too much of it out. Yup. All right, there we go. Apparently I can't talk and pour at the same time. But anyhow, I love these ceramic 3-wick jars from Candle Science. I sell these things like crazy. Last year I had blush, and this year I've got the charcoal. Oh my gosh. People love these, and I think they burn so perfectly. So for mine, I use 464 soy wax, and I use 3 of the CD6 wicks, and they burn perfectly. So I'm just really pleased with these, and I think I will probably keep them forever. So I had them just as the special like holiday 3-wick, and people love them so much that I honestly think that I'm going to just keep them, probably just keep 3 wicks in my lineup all the time. The problem is I have a brick and mortar, and so I have a lot of scents. And so, you know, pouring all of the scents in all of the jars is a lot sometimes. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that, but just yet another thing to try to figure out. So I'm almost done, you guys, and then I'm going to show you. I already poured some earlier, and they've set up. And so I want to show you what they look like when you do this method where you measure out your wax prior to pouring. I want to show you the difference that this makes, because to me, it's way worth it. Geez, I'm on my last one. Perfect, 10 on the dot. I love that. All right. I like this little pouring pitcher. It's funny actually, because I bought this off of Amazon forever ago, and I thought it was one of the large ones because in the picture there was nothing next to it for reference, and it looked like one of the big ones, and I got it and I was like, literally, what am I going to do with this? So I use it when I'm pouring like samples, when I'm testing and I just need to pour a couple candles. And now obviously I've found a real purpose for it. So yay. All right, those are done. I'm going to show you guys real quick here. Let me peel these gloves off. And then let me come around here and grab my camera, and I will show you. All right. There. If you can see that, those are so even, and they are absolutely perfect. And I'm not bragging, I'm being for real, because they're all, you know, they're each 10 ounces. And so that's the difference that it makes, to have candles that look, hi, to have candles that look spot on. So you got a scale, you got a pitcher, you got a couple extra minutes. Try it my way. Trust me, you will be very glad that you did. I'm going to go. I'm tired. I need to get things cleaned up and get ready for bed. I've work tomorrow. So I will see you guys soon though. And my next video is going to be another affordable way to ramp up your business and make your candles, make your product, your packaging, all that good stuff look more professional. So until then, have a good one, you guys. I'll see you soon.